The room was dark. No music, no prayer, no strength left. I wasn't asking for a sign anymore. That's when the air changed, and I realized, without hearing a voice, without seeing a face, that I was not alone in that room. Grief doesn't arrive all at once. It leaks. It fills the cracks in your day. It shows up in quiet moments, like when you reach for your phone out of habit, knowing no one will answer. My sister died on a Tuesday. No warning, no long illness, just a call that split my life into before and after. By Friday night, my apartment felt smaller than it ever had. The walls pressed in. The silence wasn't peaceful, it was loud. I sat on the edge of my bed, fully dressed, lights off, staring at nothing. I wasn't praying, I'd already tried that. I wasn't angry either. Anger takes energy. I didn't have any left. I remember thinking very clearly, if this is what alone feels like, I don't know how long I can do it. Around midnight, the thoughts started looping. What I should have said, what I didn't notice, the last unanswered text. Grief has a way of convincing you that hindsight is guilt. I lay back on the bed and stared at the ceiling. My chest felt tight, not panic, just pressure, like something heavy was sitting there. I remember whispering, not to God, not really, to the dark, I can't do this. That was it. No plea, no request, just a statement. I turned onto my side and pulled the blanket up, more out of habit than comfort. That's when something shifted. Not a sound, not a light, not a thought. The air in the room changed. If you've ever walked into a space right after an argument ended, you know what I mean. You don't hear anything, but you feel it. Except this wasn't tension, it was weightless, and somehow full. I didn't open my eyes. I didn't sit up. I just knew. There was a presence beside the bed, not hovering, not looming, just there. I didn't feel watched. I felt accompanied. The pressure in my chest eased, not vanished, but loosened, like a hand unclenching slowly. And then came the strangest part. A certainty, not words, not thoughts, just a knowing that pressed gently into me. You are allowed to rest now. I exhaled for the first time in hours and didn't realize I'd been holding my breath. I never saw anything, no face, no outline, no glow. But I wasn't afraid. Whatever was in that room had no interest in frightening me. It felt ancient, calm, unrushed, like it had been there long before I noticed. I don't know how long it stayed. I fell asleep. Morning light crept through the blinds. I woke up confused, not because something dramatic had happened, but because something hadn't. The grief was still there, but it wasn't crushing me. It was bearable. I sat up slowly, half expecting to feel foolish, to dismiss the night as exhaustion or imagination. But the room felt normal again, empty, and that's when it hit me. I wasn't disappointed it was gone, because something had been given. Not answers, not explanations, not healing. Stability, enough strength to stand, to shower, to eat something, enough to keep going. I never experienced it again, and I never asked to. I don't tell this story to convince anyone. I don't know what was in that room. An angel, God's presence, grace, or simply mercy meeting me at the edge. All I know is this. That night, when I was certain I was completely alone, I wasn't. And sometimes that's the miracle. Not the removal of pain, not a dramatic rescue, just the assurance that you don't have to carry it by yourself. This mini-series was about warnings, about dreams, about voices that arrive before danger. But this final story is about something quieter: presence. If you've ever felt alone in a dark room, if you've ever whispered, "I can't do this," you're not weak for it. And you might not be as alone as you think. If stories like this matter to you, like, share, and follow Lanes and Lanterns. And if you've had a moment you've never been able to explain, one that stayed with you, you're welcome to share it here. Some lights aren't meant to blind. They're meant to stay.